In the first couple of seconds of the video, we see a very distorted Minecraft video where the hotbar is completely hidden. The most interesting thing about the first 10 seconds is the timer in the bottom right corner of the screen, where it seems like it just never gets past 2 seconds before resetting. The theory I have about the timer is that it never goes past 2 seconds because it symbolizes someone's death or incompleteness. You know, normally when it comes to completeness, you have like the start, the middle, and the end, but because it never gets past 2, it can never complete itself. I know I'm really stretching it when it comes to the concept, but what if the looping 2 numbers means the story can never end, as the character we are witnessing constantly goes through a time loop of never-ending suffering? Later in the video, we are witnessing constantly going through a time loop of never-ending suffering. The video reveals what type of journey we're about to go on with him. I would also like to point out that the camera doesn't really start to freak out until the main character falls out of the world into a separate reality, and about 14 seconds in, when he's left the main reality, the camera starts to freak out. A very interesting thing about the camera is that it seems like it knows it doesn't really belong there, so sometimes if you're paying attention, the camera does freak out so much it almost looks like he's trying to be put back in the original reality he's from. But something in the second reality is denied and forced back to suffering in this new one we are currently in. Now, the hotbar could represent the lack of control or preparedness the character has when entering the new world, meaning us not seeing the hotbar at all throughout the video is definitely meant to tell us something about this before he's even seen the entity, that things are about to go very, very wrong. At 17 seconds in, we hear a big Steve Hurt sound effect, yet his hearts don't go down at all. This is really strange, and this already shows that he doesn't really belong in this reality he has been sent to. But that begs the question of why he's allowed to even exist in this plane where he doesn't belong in. The looping endless trees seem to be there to instill extreme fear and paranoia, as never-ending distance of trees are meant to keep him trapped, going in circles forever and ever. This could represent the constantly going in circles in life with zero progress. As he jumps down into the deep endless pits, he's constantly going down without any hesitation in the videos. It's only a few seconds after he realizes what he's done, but he probably doesn't even care because of how far he goes down mentally. I mean, my theory is that because he thinks no one will miss him, he can go down as deep as he wants into the abyss. I mean, that's just like my crazy theory, but let's move on. And about 42 seconds in, we see the grave for the first time. This grave sticks out when compared to all the trees, as it raises a lot of questions. The first one being, why does he dig up the gravel then put it back down? It feels like the main character might have something unfinished in his life, so he does the only thing he knows how to do and runs away. The reason why the grave is so important is that it could or would represent the end, and seeing by the character's reaction to the grave, he clearly doesn't want to go through with anything. This will be a pattern throughout the video, as the character will start an action, then will never fully complete the cycle, almost like the 1 and 2 repeating themselves in the right corner of the screen. At 1 minute and 18 seconds in, we clearly see the entity for the first time. Despite being hidden behind a tree, it's very easy to see something isn't right. Even the character in the video realizes what they just saw and runs away. Even as he runs away, he still looks behind him over himself over and over again to make sure he isn't being followed. It's quite funny to see him doing this because later in the same video, we see him start to have a small mental breakdown, begging for anyone to be in this world except for himself. Kind of bipolar, but let's move on. At 2 minutes and 45 seconds in, we finally reach the strangest part of the video. We see the character run up to the giant pit in the world in the middle of the forest of trees and just start throwing some bread into it. Like, dude, what are you doing wasting food like that? Didn't your mother teach you to behave yourself? So this portal, I think it kind of represents a second change in what's going on. After seeing the character struggle to write on a sign, relatable. Have you seen kids trying to type anything that isn't emoji nowadays? He then jumps into the pit, into the ground, and is brought to a new, darker location. Okay, that's a lot of breakdown, but let's start at the bread. Why give up the bread? Well, it could represent surrender, or it could be him testing, see how far down the pit really goes. The sign represents him trying to ask for help or reach out, but before he can actually receive help or get any confirmation of the sign doing anything, he self-sabotages himself by jumping down further into the complete darkness of the pit. He seems to have zero validation over his own life. Honestly, the whole video gives me the vibes that this player, or whoever is controlling this world, doesn't care what happens to themselves, or is actively trying to run away from help or potential help, and understanding that he needs help but doesn't really know how to express themselves in the proper way to get help. Because he didn't take any physical damage he could see, maybe he thought it didn't matter if he just dumped down instead of waiting for help, because we still see him slowly losing his mind throughout the video, getting more and more scared of everything around him. At 4 minutes and 50 seconds, we see him mining down to see if there is possibly go any deeper, and that is kind of weird. It's like the main character has zero value of their own life and wants to sink even deeper into whatever they have going on. Clearly, the repeating numbers in the right side is meant to represent the constant self-sabotage the character puts himself through. Or they just wanted some stone. That could also be a possibility. They just wanted stone. I could just be overthinking this too much as I'm only 5 minutes into the video and my brain is about to explode. This is a weird thing that happens when he reaches the third layer. He looks a little less scared than he probably should be. And another thing keeps popping up is the fact that he keeps taking and taking and taking, even though he already has a lot of crafting tables, lots of food, lots of tools. It's just really repetitive, and it seems to be more of a distraction for himself than anything. And at this point, the main character is only doing these things out of habit and probably comfort. Because how do you expect to prepare to fight something that could be so much stronger than you can ever possibly hope to be? If by chance the entity is actually hostile, I don't think preparing by getting resources and food is really going to save the character, but hey, maybe he's a PvP god and we just don't know it yet. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the fact that the main character is constantly looking up at the sky over and over again, like he's expecting something to happen or change. The sky does look kind of cooked in the second layer of the video, but hey, maybe he's just praying for some kind of god to come on in and save him already. But realistically, the best thing you can do in this situation is to turn off your computer and get the memory hard wiped. But hey, that's just me. If common sense was a thing in these videos, then none of them would ever even have kept going in the first place. At 6 minutes and 15 seconds, it's kind of eerie to see pillars built like this. This tells us the main character definitely wasn't the first being to stay in this location. Of course, as soon as he sees the tree, he instantly cuts it down like he is a repetition is kicking in. At 7 minutes and 17 seconds, he finds some stone pillars that look like they have been there for a very, very long time. It's quite really funny, really. The deeper he goes, the more and more it looks like an old civilization was once there, which is really eerie, now that I said it out loud. I mean, what's really eerie about these is that some of these 2-block tall width and height looks like the perfect spot for a door. I just noticed also that the music is just repeating itself over and over again, just like the numbers 1 and 2. It just seems to perfectly end when we see the civilization, or what remains of it. It seems that even the music knows what we just saw was false hope, so it stops for a second just to start over. Out of all the times the music could have restarted, this is the spot it chose. The moment of revelation stops the music before everything begins crumbling down. So the main character starts digging down, hoping to find more of these pillars or where they came from, but only thing he finds along the stone is more bedrock. A moment where the main character realizes he's completely alone, so he gives up on trying to find out about the pillars, starts running in a random direction. At 8 minutes and 49 seconds, there's a sound in the distance, almost like something or someone has finally noticed what he's did to their home. It's quite scary knowing that you are completely alone in the world, but it's much worse to develop a false sense of hope. You are alone only to realize you are actually being hunted. The screams get more and more frustrated as the main character did something that they would not forgive them for, probably for destroying those stone pillars. And for each time they scream, it gets louder and louder and louder until, well, the video kind of just ends, but I'm sure it'll continue in part 2, right? Well, I guess we gotta wait for a part 2. Maybe those stone pillars were important after all to the entity, or whatever. There's a crazy idea or concept that might blow your mind when I explain it to you. All the things that happen in the video look like they are about 2 seconds behind. Like, I get that feeling like everything's on a delay, or it just doesn't look quite right. Think about it. All of the things that happen were very delayed reactions. All of the mistakes or things that the character realizes they've done happened on such a strange delay that the timer isn't just there for show. What if the player or person controlling the character is on a delayed or laggy server, so everything they see is behind what is actually happening? I will say that the first layer in the forest, the screen kept freaking out. It was like trying to pull him back into normal reality, but once he was willing and went further down, the camera stopped trying to send him back and instead embraced the darkness with him. Each time the character makes a mistake, he looks up at the sky wondering why everything is happening to him. Sorry, that's not actually the last thing. So the actual last thing I've noticed is that in the description of the video has a long message of simple words. This world isn't real anymore. Please help me. Please help me. Me. Mercy. Who is he crying out to? And who else is in this world with the main character? I guess we'll have to find out later. But my last theory for the day is that the main character is that the entity who's stalking the main character is actually just a family member who died. So that's why the main character comes across his grave. It's meant to represent the fact that the main character or the family member died and that they are grieving for them. So the original Fall Down, I wouldn't really put it past the creator if that's the direction he's going with the story. And if it's not like for the main character or the entity, the grave, I have absolutely zero clue what the creator's trying to do. Like, is that just for symbolism, or I don't know. It could just be like the main character falling deeper and deeper into trauma. That's also like the third theory I have about it too. So I think the plot is bound to get more juicy as the episodes are released, of course. The first episode, you can't really expect everything to happen on the first episode. So I might actually return to the series if I don't get distracted doing something else, of course. I left the video in the description below if you want to check it out, as the creators already promised for a part 2 in the comments below. So clearly we will get some more answers in the future, and if I don't have any answers and if he gives me more questions, I am going to lose my mind. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, maybe check out my other pieces of work I've created, like my chicken nugget video that got 0 views.